Here we will see ndarray.resize function. The numpy.ndarray.resize function takes the new shape as an argument and has an optional reference check parameter set to true. If the new array is larger than the original array, then the new array is filled with zeros. This function changes the element's shape and size within the array itself without creating a new array. So the function does not have any return value. The function can be useful in cases where you want to change the size of an array without creating a new array. General syntax is ndarray.resize with parameter new check and reference check, where new shape is the shape of the array and reference check is the boolean that checks the reference count. It checks if the array buffer is referenced to any other object. By default it is set to true. You can also set it false if you haven't referenced the array to any other object. This function does not have a return value. If the new array is larger than the original array, then the new array is filled with zeros. For example, here we have created a NumPy array with elements 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, and if we resize it as 3, 2, it will print new array as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. That is, the original array is having 2 rows and 3 columns, and when we resize it as 3, 2, it will resize the array with 3 rows and 2 columns. When the size of the new array is larger than the original array, then the new array is filled with zeros. For example, here we have created a new array with elements 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, and if we resize it as 2, 4, it will resize the array with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 0, 0. That is, it will take original array as 2 rows and 3 columns, and when we resize it with 2, 4, it will resize the array with 2 rows and 4 columns, and last 2 elements will added as a 0. Since the original array element are 6, and when we resize it with 2, 4, the new array elements are 8, so it will add 2 zeros with the array. When the size of the new array is smaller than the original array, then the new array is created with decreased size. For example, here we have created new array with elements 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, and when we resize it with 3, 1, the new array will having elements 1, that is, original array is having 2 rows and 3 columns, and when we resize it with 3, 1, it will resize it with 3 rows and 1 column, and last 3 elements are truncated. Now see use of reference check with array.resize. Here we have created a new array with elements 1, 2 and 3, 4, and if we assign this array A to C, and if we resize the A, it will generate a value error. That is, we cannot resize an array that references or is referenced by another array. We can do this by setting the reference check false. For example, here we have created array, we assign this array A to C, and we will resize the array A with 3, 2 and we will set reference check will be false. Then it will resize the array A with new size as 3 rows and 2 columns. That is, to prevent reallocation of the memory used by this array by another Python object, a reference count check is performed. It should be noted that the reference count may increase due to other reasons also. If you are confident that no other Python object has shared this memory for this array, you can safely assign false to reference check. Now we'll execute this array.resize function in Jupyter Notebook. So first we'll import the NumPy. So import NumPy as np. Then we'll declare array as array equal to np.array with elements 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. First we'll print original array as print arr, and we'll resize this array as arr.resize with elements 3, 2, and we'll print resized array as print arr, and we will execute this. It will print original array with 2 rows and 3 columns and resized array with 3 rows and 2 columns. Now we'll resize this array with array.resize 2, 4, and we'll print resized array as print arr. And when we execute this, it will resize the array with 2 rows and 4 columns, and last 2 elements are added with 0. Since original array is having 6 elements, when we resize it with 2, 4, it will have 8 elements, so it will add 2 zeros with the array element. Now we'll resize this array with 3, 1, and we'll print it as print arr. And when we execute this, it will resize the array with 3 rows and 1 columns, and it will truncate last 3 elements from the original array. Now we'll see this array with reference check. We will assign this original array to new array as C equal to ARR, and we'll try to resize the array as ARR.resize with 3, 2, and we'll print the array, that is print resized array as print ARR. And if we execute this, it will generate a value error since it is referenced to C. For this, here we will use reference check. So ref check equal to false, and if we execute this, it will resize the array as 3 rows and 2 columns. Since previously we have resized this array with 3, 1, so it will contain only 3 elements 1, 2, 3, and when we resize it again as 3, 2, it will add 3, 0 as an element to the existing array.